Okay, folks, back with another one. Like the TT.2 so much, I went ahead and decided we're going trucking. So let's get this in here and see what we got going on. Got the Buggyra Fat Fox 1/14 scale RC on-road racing truck. PT.1 Type E chassis. RC on-road racing truck. Ready to assemble. Effective suspension system. Features coil sprung dampers. Highly realistic buy shell plus wheels and tires included. Enjoy the thrill of constructing and driving your own model. That's what it looks like. Or what it should look like when you're done with it. Apparently, you can put LEDs in it, but I probably won't. Here's the side of the box. The stuff you're gonna need. On-road racing truck, Tamiya. I do believe it comes that Mabuchi RS 540 torque tune motor plus speed controller. So it's probably gonna be a 60 amp hobby wing. So let's take the box off, or top off the box, and let's see what we're working with here. Okay, so we have the body. Looks like it comes in several pieces. There's the rear. It's got to be the cab and the hood. Oops. And there's the rest of it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Same thing you got, look like knuckles, steering knuckles, and diff parts. Some braces, motor mount. Tamiya. Foam bumper. Pretty cool looking tires. Wheels. Body posts. There's the chassis pan. Yep, same ESC pretty much. Looks to be a 60 watt or 60 ampere. The old A, B, and C bags again. Some Tamiya fake bearings. There's the motor. The Mabuchi motor, it's all hidden. That's cool. Wheel hubs. More parts, probably body parts, chassis parts. I see some body posts. This is for, but that's for the ESC. Not terribly different from a TT.2, except for the motor's on the other side. And this does have a bridge over the drive shaft. That's cool. Also got here all sorts of stickers. I think that's the push bar. Hippo. Goodyear. Signer. Biggest. Sure. But I believe it's probably just going to go ahead the same and go together just like the last one, so you don't see no surprises. Just gotta make sure I have some fresh Phillips screwdrivers this time. That last kit kind of ruined my screwdrivers. So there it is. Carpet muncher number 2. So basically not too much different from a TT.2. Also got upgraded parts, axle shafts, bearings, and all that stuff like I did for the last one. So as I'm building this one, I might go back through the TT.2 and refine a couple things, neaten up some wiring on that too while I'm at it. Maybe change out the servo. I got a couple drift cars I'm gonna strike down for maintenance, and I got a couple tunable servos from them I can put in here. So that's pretty much it for now. Get you into the assembly here in a minute. Peace. So, real quick, since putting the motor comes in pretty early on here, I wanted to do a water break in on this motor. I figured, you know what, might as well do a water break in on this motor. So we're gonna fill this up with distilled water and run it for 5 minutes on part throttle and do both motors, I guess. Okay, there it is, running the distilled water. 4 minutes, 22 seconds to go. I just used my throttle trim on this because that's the easiest way. So we're going to do this motor, and then we're going to do this one as well. So, see y'all when we get done. So, ran this one for 10 minutes and there's some definite cloudiness to the water. So, we're just gonna call it good, and I'm gonna clean this one up, and then we're gonna get the next one going. Okay, got that one going now. Got my bearing oil here. I'm going to apply it to these bearings right here. On the back. That's soaking. Now, to be told, I've already had some laps on this motor prior to doing the water break-in method. And that one's brand new. So it took a lot more trim to spin that one. So I don't know if it's just the battery's getting low or maybe that motor's a little tighter, but get that one out in 6 minutes. And I'll dry that one off and spray that one off. And then we can continue on with the rest of the build. Also, after I completed breaking in and cleaning the motors, I'm going to run them for 5 minutes on a low throttle setting. Oil at the bearings. They should be going after that. So just a quick note, make sure all the contact cleaners out of the motor had a little bit of a poof of a mini fire for a second, and it went out, but I ran the motor for 5 minutes afterward and it seemed to run fine, so I don't think it did anything permanent, but yeah, just a little safety tip. This motor did seem kind of tight from the beginning, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it. But yeah, just a little word of caution out there. So here you are in the dungeon. I took the ESCs out. I'm gonna switch out these connectors because they're junk. That'd be one less thing I gotta worry about. We got a male right here. I can scrounge another male off one of these guys. I bought a bunch from the Hobby Shack, but they were the wrong ones. I didn't know it, so that's what we're going to be doing, and hopefully I can do it all with just this much solder. So okay, the basic body is complete. The chassis is complete. The basic chassis parts are assembled. Now it's time to harvest some servos from some other cars and the receiver. So I'm going to harvest the servo out of this chassis for this car, lighten it up a little bit, and then harvest the servo out of my Red Cat. Didn't really want to do that, but I might need other parts of this Red Cat for another build that I'm building. That lowrider, I might need a transmission out of this. So, unfortunately, I might have to strike this one down for a bit. There it is so far. I'm going to wash the plastic, let it dry, start masking up a pattern. I'm going to neaten up the electronics in this. I've got Dean's T connectors I'm going to put on the ESCs. That way I don't have to run a bunch of crazy adapters. And take it from there, I guess. Gonna be trucking. Okay, back at it. Did some grocery shopping, now I'm back. And I'm gonna go ahead and prep and paint the body as I'm doing all this other stuff because it's nice outside. So I'm gonna be using is this standard yellow tape. No, frog tape brand. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a yellow on the bottom, a copper brown in the mid, and a black upper. I'm gonna do it kind of like a Wolverine color paint job. His second costume colors. And eventually I'm gonna put a little dashboard in there and maybe get a little Wolverine Funko Pop and put in there. You know, gonna be the Twisted Brown Trucker. So get this thing maxed up and then paint on it, and then get into the electronics. Okay, gonna paint the yellow portion, so I'm gonna start out with this candy gold, then follow up with maybe whatever I got left in here. Camel yellow, and then I'm gonna back it with a solid yellow. So see what happens there. Come on. Sorry. Stepped a little wrong on my ankle there. Alright. Let that cure up and lay down the rest of it. Okay, so here's where we're at so far. Try my best to keep it as neat as possible. I did have to drill a hole underneath for a zip tie to kind of get the wires to stay down. The cool thing about the PT.1, it's got a cross brace, so it can hold your antenna wire and whatnot. Unfortunately, with the TT02, you don't have that. So you gotta tuck everything in on the one side. So I drilled a hole there and one down here, because I gotta have everything tucked in off to the side to avoid from hitting this drive shaft, which is kind of a bummer. I got the Dean's T-style ends on. Got both servos installed. The power switch actually mounts to the side of the ESC. I found this out while digging through other ESCs that look like this. I saw it, I'm like, huh. So that's where that goes. So those are more secure now, at least. I put little buffer bushing things, whatever you want to call them, on the body for the TT02, so it doesn't scratch it up too bad. Sits on there more securely, and then I got the yellow stage done on this one. So I gotta drill a hole up through there to accommodate that antenna wire. Yeah, kinda, sorta. Sure. Well, that's it for now. Now I'll start further work on that body and then take it from there. Okay, painting of the body is about done. Let's see, black, brownish color, then goldish yellow, black for the cab. Rear mud flaps are yellow. Back of the cab is black and bronze brown. Gonna paint this in here silver and put some fake gauges. I got some wood grain I can put in there. That'd be a cool little touch. Well, it's put together and it's running. It can go faster than that, but I'm trying to drive this with one hand, and my wheel doesn't have that little thummy thumb extension for it. But apparently that water dunk method worked. I will point out right now, though, when you put it together, just be very mindful of the length of these screws and how tight you put them on, because it will cause binding issues. I thought I had a diff installed backwards, but the way they're molded, you can't install the diff backwards on these. You can't. The ring gear hits. So I started from the back, worked my way up front, took this off, made sure there's nothing binding in here, put the screws in, rotated it, put the other screws in, rotated, found out that if these screws here are too tight or the wrong length, they'll actually hit the gear in there and it'll stop it from turning. So everything tucks in pretty nice. Like I said, it can go a little quicker than what you saw, but driving with one hand kind of can't really take it to its full potential, but she's up and running. Okay, so here we are. The paint's cured up, ready to assemble, and I'm gonna incorporate this dude into the cab somehow. Kind of a little bit of a novel approach, I guess. I'll try to get it done by tonight so I can take it to the track tomorrow and see what it'll do. So let's get cracking. Okay, so this is how we're doing this. I had to cut Logan off at the waist to get him to fit in the confines of the cab. We got a little bit of a dashboard. The camera's gonna be mounted there. I'm just gonna have to mount this on here. Velcro. That way it'll make it easier for me to mount and dismount the camera. Trim these nubs down. Got the body to sit a little lower. Come to find out it's the short wheelbase. That's cool. I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to switch the control arms back. But until then, we're just going to focus on getting this body done, get it together, and then go from there. Well, here it is so far. Didn't really want to put too many contrasting decals on it, and I was kind of figuring what kind of sponsors Logan would run, so that's what I came up with. The cab is velcroed on so I can get to the camera easier. Gotta trim these. I gotta correct this wheelbase. That front wheel's a little too far forward. So that's it for now. I ain't gonna make the race tomorrow, but that's fine. Button up some details on it and continue from there.